Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to A House of Many Doors, where I did it. I finally did the thing. I actually made some notes. So now I will feel a lot more comfortable with our inventory and buying and selling things. Now I know where we need it, or what we need, where we need it, except I don't remember what we need for the Tybalt side quest because the notes in the log here are like spectacularly unhelpful. We definitely had specific things that we were asked to, or that we needed to advance that plot, so we may swing by the poet castle just to figure that out, so that I can make notes of it. But I think we're about done here in the City of Angels, right? I think it is time to move on and figure out exactly where to move on to. Although we are allowed to wander the streets again and get ourselves another obscene booklet, because some things are not totally functional when you reload in cities. And yeah, I don't think we need... So we have the silk, right? We bought that silk. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, okay. So we have the one silk we need. We still need Bottled Darkness. We need Hideous Revelations. We really have no idea where to get an occult relic, but it sure would be nice to have one. So I think I'm going to buy us some fuel. And then we could... here. One thing we could do is we could try to get ready to go down to Athena. If we swing back through the City of Keys and just buy a whole lot of fuel, which is the thing we should be able to do. Oh, we got to go to Claytonsville first because we have a thing there for the key details. You know what? That's the play. We'll figure out what else we want to do after we do that. So south, please. Go south a couple of tiles, and then west a whole bunch. I mean, we already know what awaits us. Never gonna get used to it. We already know what awaits us in Athena, so I guess it's not like a super high priority from a content perspective. I am curious about what is beyond it, though. It seems like the map is larger than I was expecting. And I mean, like, obviously... They talk about the house like it's infinite. You should expect it to be large, but I kind of thought there are going to be some cheaty edges on it somewhere, right? Where like it starts warping you around, it becomes non-Euclidean, or maybe it does just hard wall you, or maybe it becomes so dangerous you couldn't possibly continue on. But the area inside where there's actually stuff happening is quite large. Alright, so we had that thing again where we get beat up in our dreams. Texts that we are well familiar with. Alright, let us meet our contact. The unnamed society member wants to meet you in an abandoned shack on the edge of the shantytown. The shack door is opened just an inch or two, and a yellowing eye glares out at you. It softens when it sees who you are. Come in, rasps the voice on the other side, unchaining the door. The inside of the shack is derelict. A patchwork-coated ghoul sits at a rickety table, a flickering lantern hanging from the ceiling above. On behalf of the unnamed society, I'd like to thank you for agreeing to meet me like this, he says. Let's not point out his lack of discretion. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I'm definitely here to be friendly. Actually, this seems like a step too far. I don't know who this guy is. He might be a plant. It's my pleasure. The ghoul grins, baring teeth that are in better condition than the surrounding skin. Let's get to business, he says. We have evidence that the Hangnot mob are actually working for the governor. He pulls a manila folder from beneath his coat and hands it to you. Just as you take it, the shack's door bursts inwards. Two dark-coated figures stand at the door, frayed nooses around their necks, pistols in their hands. The ghoul is up and leaping headfirst through the window in an instant. His reflexes are especially impressive in someone whose tendons have mostly decayed. It feels like fighting the assassins is unlikely to work out for us. Let's follow him out the window. It especially seems like he might have more information for us, right? You dive out the window after him and flee into the dark. The assassins take a few pot shots. You feel a bullet zip past your earlobe like an angry hornet. But soon, you've lost them. Ghoul is nowhere to be seen. That's a shame. Back at the Kinetopede, you look through the manila folder that the ghoul gave you. Documents, contracts, daguerreotypes, incontrovertible evidence that the governor's men have been collaborating with the Hangnot mob. So, incriminating evidence, a terrible secret, and some unsettling conjecture. The story of the century. I kind of feel like that, the heart thing is maybe a bigger deal? No? Okay, it's fine. Alright, let's gather news. It's easy enough. We could attempt to ingratiate ourselves. Okay, it has been long enough. So, we could... We don't want to play to lose here. I'm gonna cheat to win. Playing without cheating. This is the thing they're gonna respect, right? Everyone at the table is cheating, but you cheat better than they ever could. We did this before. 200 guineas and a little bit of respect, both of which are useful currencies. All right, did they sell anything interesting here? Obviously, there's fuel at the fuel stop. There's blinding hooch at the bar. We could sell off our obscene booklets, which I guess we ought to, right? We could part with our terrible secret. I'm going to sell my obscene booklets because we don't want to go back to the City of Keys with them, right? And then, do I want to sell my terrible secret? I wonder. I wonder if there's anything else we could do with it. I think I'm going to hold on to it for now. Do we need to test vigilance to recover? I mean, our sanity's fine. Our sanity is fine. Yeah, let's just get out of here. Alright. So now... I mean, we have a couple of options. We could head past the City of Bridges and the City of Engines to go back to Fargyle Keep to make some notes. The drifting beam... Hold on, checking my notes. Warding iron and... Okay, we did buy the things to help fix the drifting beam. Yeah, we could come down here and, help out those people with their Zeppelin, their dirigible. And we may as well investigate Miss Autumnal's whereabouts. We're close enough to Old Hallow. Yeah, alright, we'll just have ourselves a little circuitous journey. So, really southeast. We are going to make some progress on some concerns. It is going to happen, probably. Unless we run into another Gigantopede or something. Nope, they seem too interested. It is no longer safe to talk to them. At some point, we are going to have to pursue that Governor's Men plot north of the City of Angels. I'm not sure exactly what I think we need before that becomes a reasonable thing to do. It might be the case that we could do it just as soon as we have a fourth gun, but my suspicion is we need a train that is just tougher as well. Alright, let's gather news. We'll just buy a newspaper. Giant mutant bats have been found roosting beneath Ludlow Way. Still no arrests made since rogue Grapneliers went on a killing spree in the Mycenae underhangs. A journalist has been found badly beaten, his memory stolen. Oh yeah, that's interesting. I guess journalism would be a very different career in a setting where people can literally just take your memories out of your brain before you write the story. It's a dangerous time. Alright, let's wander the bridges. Let's just look for stuff to happen. An old man sits on the edge of Brabazon Bridge, contemplating the endlessness below. His knuckles are white on the railing. He shifts forward a tiny amount and sighs. It's probably nothing. I probably shouldn't get involved. This is not my business, but I can't help myself. The old man glares at you. I suppose you want to stop me? Save your breath. Well, I mean, frankly, it's not that I don't care if he jumps, it's that I don't feel like I have the right to be like, hey, you can't jump, because I don't know what the hell's going on here, man. But I'm gonna tell him this because it's closer to the truth. Cruel sort, ain't you? I've never been much for gods, but I hope one is listening. Leans forward and lets go, vanishes without a word or a scream, and you are alone. Oh, okay, well that... I don't think it's cruel to say, hey there, stranger, I don't feel like I have enough information here to tell you what to do in your life, but he disagrees. So, 2 points of divine reproach cobblestone. Some of the gods are interested in me. Some of them have other feelings. At 398 gold, I'm a little... I don't think we want to advertise for a new crew member. I think we want to save up for more train upgrades. Do we have anything to sell here? We did get that terrible secret. I suppose if this is what we can do with it, if we can gain reputation, then it might be worth holding on to until we know that we want reputation. Certain bits of reputation. I think we'll hold off on all that stuff too. So I guess there's not really a lot else that we need to do here. It was worth coming through to pick up the news, obviously. Chillstone lumber, I mean, a lot of this is just the normal stuff you see everywhere. This very private procurer would take some things. Ah, yes, and the Grand Abattoir. This is where... Wait, did we not take... I thought we had a... Oh, you know what? That zoological specimen might have been taken after we left the keep, and then we died, so that thing actually never happened. Huh, I really thought we had a dangerous beast or something. I mean, I know we had the dead one and we gave that away, but I thought we had also taken something alive. Oh well, whatever. So we don't have anything important to sell here. We have done our business. South to the City of Engines. It's slightly southeast, right? Yeah, it's pretty directly southeast, in fact. Wait, really? Okay, apparently we're pretending that there's collision in the middle of that. That's a little bit annoying. He is not stopped by it. He's allowed to just go straight through. That feels a little like maybe not the way that they intended that to function, if I had to guess. You enjoy a dreamless, untroubled sleep. Why, that is almost itself a menacing idea. What happened? Where'd all my nightmares go? Somebody's been in my brain, stealing all my nightmares. I hate them, but they're mine. Alright, enter the cottage. Is it a free guide? Nope, it's a cultist paraphernalia. I mean, I would have taken a free crew member. Alright, here in the City of Engines, we gather some news. After the 17th day of torrential rain, angry mobs have gathered outside the offices of the weather engineers. Anthroparians have launched a new machine-only hovercog. Half-working services are further deregulated amidst controversy. Well, well. All of that stuff, definitely very important. Let's wander the streets for a bit. On the intersection of Rustbitter Cog and Bismuth Turning, you stumble across a burned-out shell of a building with an Anthroparian standing outside. Anthroparians are like golems, at least superficially. They are built of gleaming steel rather than clay and stone and clockwork. And more importantly, though, the strange technological permissiveness of the City of Engines has made them able to think for themselves. Where a golem blindly follows its programming, an Anthroparian makes decisions. Have you come here to attack me? The Anthroparian asks, noticing your stare. Its body is dented, and its glass eyes whir as they focus on you warily. I should warn you, I am government property. No, I'm not here to attack you. If you do attack me, I am authorized to defend myself, says the Anthroparian. Abstaining from doing so is understandable. Yeah, what happened here? You look rough. This was the factory where I was built, it says. It had been here 20 years. I was built here 2 years ago. Yesterday it was burned down by the Soul Movement. Many Anthroparians were destroyed. It stands for a while in apparent thought. I cannot leave the City of Engines. Could you bring me some items? I'll pay you. I earn 21 guineas a week, and I have never spent any of it. What is your job? I walk up and down the city, it says. I have a module in my head that allows me to receive telepathic messages transmitted from brainwave emitters. If I hear a message which violates regulations, I report it to the authorities. For this, I am paid 21 guineas a week. I am allowed 1 hour of holiday every 2.5 weeks. It is a good job. Okay, I mean, he must mean Anthroparian relative. We don't need to... we know why he can't leave the City of Engines, or at least why he would really rather not. Hey, what's your name? Some Anthroparians refer to themselves by their serial number, but I think we should make an effort to adopt the customs of human society, so I have named myself Jeremy. And, okay, what exactly is it that you need? Well, unlike other Anthroparians, I have a special receiver in my head that allows me to process human brainwaves. This is necessary for my job, but it also provides me with an opportunity. I would like to analyze human memories and determine if the claims of the Soul Movement have any merit. This is like a weird jump. Of course they don't have merit, they burned down your factory. Those two things don't connect at all. So, yeah, what are the claims of the soul movement exactly? They claim that anthroparians can think but cannot feel. They claim that our inability to feel emotion means we do not have a soul. They further claim that this makes us dangerous. I would like to assess these claims. Huh. Not having a soul makes you dangerous. I guess this must be based in some kind of idea that the soul is the center of having any ideas of morality? So you want me to bring you memory boxes then? Precisely. I will pay you 364 guineas for each different variety of memory you bring me. It looks down. It has a clock embedded in its wrist. Ah, my holiday is almost over, it says. If you have a new memory to bring me, meet me beneath the East Bilge Wish emitter at 7 o'clock. We do still have that memory box. I mean, yeah, let's give it to him. It doesn't seem like we need it. The Bilge Wish emitter is a colossal pillar of antennae and metal dishes, each beaming out a different telepathic advertisement. Standing near it is disorienting and headache-inducing. You are under a constant barrage. Hundreds of flickering mental images of various products, from t-shirts to soap to ornithopters. A dozen curiously specific hungers for foods served at nearby restaurants. The catchy jingles mix inside your head into discordant noise soup. Oh, so it's like being on the internet. Jeremy is waiting beneath it, his steel body looking somehow more scratched and battered than last time you saw him, which was minutes ago. What do you have for me? I have some thrilling memories. Jeremy plugs the box into the side of his head and cranks the handle. For a few moments, his glass eyes display an error message. Huh. Is that all? He hands you the now empty box and a bag of coins. Well, thank you. So, we just need to keep pulling memories with this box and keep bringing them back to him. Okay, we can do that. Let's see, is there anything else here that we need to do? Oh, we do actually have... Yeah, we totally have memories that we could use to fill the box. So we don't need thrilling anymore. Let's go for happy memories. You wake from your surgery with a new penny-sized hole in your skull. When you left the memory box back to your cargo, it actually seems heavier. Okay, let's hand him this. We're gonna get super rich off of this robot. Jeremy plugs the box into the side of his head and cranks the handle. Ah, he says. I see. He's really enjoying these, huh? Alright, let's put some more memories in the box. Bitter memories. I have some moments of melancholy. Do I ever? Let's see what he thinks of this one. Oh, yes, interesting. Okay, well, he seemed to enjoy that slightly more. So exotic, intimate, and terrifying are still needed. We can do all of that, actually. Huh, of course. Self-preservation. The fear of death. The root cause of it all, I suppose. Yeah, that's fair. All of the insane things we do. Oh, sorry, that's not... I need to put things in the thing. Exotic memories. I have observed a breathtaking spectacle or two. Let's see what he thinks about this, which is probably... This is almost certainly just what it looks like in the City of Knives, right? When he removes the box, he shakes his head slowly. This was worth the price, he says. I experienced memories of places outside of the City of Engines. I visited places that I can never go. An escape. Okay, actually, that's kind of beautiful. I wasn't really thinking of it that way. I was just like, we've seen that view so many times. It almost shouldn't take our breath away anymore. Alright, how about some quote-unquote intimate memories? There's a lot of ways you could interpret that. For a few moments, his glass eyes display an error message, and then he says, oh my, the error message remains for rather a long time. I have experienced all the memories I needed to. In summation, disappointing. Nothing I experienced was unfamiliar. Intimacy, the desire for personal validation and self-replication. Terror and excitement, the desire for self-preservation. Sadness, the unfulfilled desire. Joy, the fulfilled. True, human brains squirt a few chemicals that seem to heighten the experience, he concedes. But it strikes me that the soul movement is founded upon a category error. There is no distinction between think and feel. Boy, that's a big statement. Jeremy turns to you stiffly, circuits whirring. Thank you for your help. I believe our affairs are concluded. Well, we got a lot of apprehensions off of that. We just have a lot of apprehensions. And then, I mean, we may as well jam the memory box full of something. I guess anytime we might need the memory box to be full of something, it's easy enough to fill it. So let's not convert the moment of melancholy in case we decide we want to, like, write a poem with it or something. So, that being the case, are we done here? We're pretty much done here. The traders, we can buy some basics. There's nothing here that's totally mind-blowing. And at the bazaar, just wondrous devices, which will immediately break as soon as you leave. Now that's cool, we're good. Alright, so... do we wanna... what's out here again? Buttocks Gaze, Gossamer Smile. I mean, I guess the question is, do we want to push all the way down these things? Oh, I guess we do, because Mr. Winter's whereabouts are all the way over there. Where is that place? That's Carapace, then? Okay, so yeah, we'll take a route like this, and we'll circle around to here, and then come back up to the City of Keys. So, to Fargyle Keep we go, and we'll hit the City of Masks on the way back. South. Yeah, I don't remember exactly... I know we had two options with the Tybalt thing. Hey, we found a guy, we make him... oh, I don't really have room for many types of crew. I'll take a swabby. Ow, just crashing the train into everything. We are faster. It's definitely noticeable. It's a little hard to control in really tight spaces like that, unfortunately. See, I still have strong feelings about actually completing a plot for one of our crew members, because I'm curious if it will, like, dramatically alter their stats. I have to assume it would. Both based on what happens in the Sunless games and also just on, like, what would be the mechanical reason to pursue these. Although, I suppose they could feel that, that getting some extra story is justification enough. And honestly, I'd really be inclined to agree, but also I want stuff. Also, numbers must go up. Is it even a video game if you're not making numbers go up, I ask you? Boy, everybody's really interested in meeting with us. Okay, so take Tybalt to train with the Poet Knights. So we can come back and try the Test of Spirit periodically. Or we could offer Laudanum. This was the thing that we needed Laudanum for. Well, let's just try the Test of Spirit again. We're pretty good at Spirit. Lady Juliet sighs. Very well. She assigns Tybalt temporary accommodation with the other squires, and tells you to come back in a week. Over the next 7 days, you stroll the keep's grounds, befriending knights and watching the squires recite poetry beneath the trees. Their vast library has no shortage of books to read, and you spend every evening at one of the Poet Knight's raucous, drug-addled feasts. Once his week of training is over, Lady Juliet organizes a practice bout between Tybalt and another squire for your benefit. The squire disarms him instantly, again and again and again. See, says Lady Juliet, turning to you as Tybalt drops his wooden blade on his foot and hops around in agony. I do not think he is cut out for this life. Tybalt flings his practice sword aside and storms away. He ignores all shouts to come back. You move to follow Tybalt, but a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. It's Sir Bruin, one of the most respected poet knights at the keep, a squat, muscular man with skin like beaten-up leather and truly magnificent hair. Leave him, says Sir Bruin quietly. Do you know what you have in that boy, my friend? That boy has a rare gift. What gift? Sir Bruin looks briefly annoyed. What? No. Okay. Tybalt knew his training was not going well. He came to me one night, drunk as you like, and confessed. He never wanted to be a fighter when he was growing up. He had his heart set on a very different career before his father beat it out of him. Sir Bruin stares you in the eyes, dead serious. Tybalt wants to be a barber, and he's damn good at it. The Poet Knight runs a hand through his luxuriant locks, flowing down his shoulders in a shimmering hazel cascade. He had his eye on my hair from the moment he got here. Out of pity, I let him attempt to wrangle with it. This magnificence will shatter lesser scissors, you know. It will devour lesser men. But, to my great surprise, he did a finer job than any before him. He is talented. Well, it seems like it would be very rude to laugh. Well, I never knew that. Sir Bruin nods gravely. Now, go after him. And please, convince him to follow his dreams. His destiny is in a barber shop, not aboard a kinetipede. The Poet Knight turns and stomps away, his hair rippling behind him like something alive. Yeah, why would I not follow Tybalt? Why is this even an option? Of course we follow Tybalt. Try as you might, you cannot find Tybalt anywhere. When you finally return to the kinetipede, your crew tell you that he got back before you, but he's locked himself in his quarters, stewing in fury and self-loathing. We'll have to speak to him later when he has calmed down. And now, the heir apparent joke becomes clearer. Okay, well, we may as well gather news while we're here. Sir Bruin has organized a tournament. Many more poems have been pinned to the leafless tree in the courtyard. One of the squires has gone on an absurdly overambitious quest. All sounds quite familiar. If we enter the castle, we can just hang out here for a while. Oh yes, that's right. The thing that was preventing us from being a Poet Knight ourselves was stats. We need, like, a lot more stat points. Alright, let's spend an evening with the Poet Knights. It went really well last time. You spend the evening with old Sir Caliphus in his study, sipping fiery whiskey and listening to stories of his old battles and accomplishments. He tells his tales with a delighted grin, not at all embarrassed or self-effacing, but nor does he sound like he's boasting. Toward the end of the night, he asks you for a story of your own. Words from another world, perhaps, he asks, wistful. Unfortunately, I do not currently have a glimpse of another world. Sir Caliphus smiles ruefully and clasps your hand in his. Too much to hope for, he mumbles as you say your goodbyes. Okay, well, we got his thrilling yarn. So, it's just south again, right? We have kind of a long way to travel, but we also have a lot of fuel, so I do want to... Do we want to go to Bodak's Gaze? Was there any benefit to that at all? Yeah, I guess we'll go. Who knows? There was a test of some kind there that we failed, right? Maybe we'll be able to try it again and succeed? I am curious what the value of the place is. Let's see if the Tyrannic here has anything for us. Nope, okay. I love the idea of there just being this absurdly huge thing that you encounter out in the world every once in a while, but I do kind of wish that they had drawn it at that size. Because, like, it's very clearly a thing that was drawn smaller and then scaled way up, and it doesn't... The resolution on that train is remarkably bad. These guys, yep, they are indeed chasing us. Well, things mostly couldn't catch us before. Now that we have our upgrades, we have very little to worry about. Okay. Wish I could remember... I guess it doesn't matter much. Oh, right, we should talk to Tybalt. I was going to say, I wish I could remember what it was that happened to us at Bodak's Gaze. Let's go speak with him about his secret ambition. He apparently wants to become a barber. Who told you that? Tybalt turns a deep shade of red and punches the wall. Oh, it was Sir Bruin, wasn't it? Damn him, I told him that in confidence. Never trust a poet. I never have. So... is it true? Of course it's true. Let's face it, I'm not good at this. He waves glumly at his rifle, still sitting half disassembled in the corner. Well, what's the appeal of being a barber? Oh, the fame, the money, the glory? He crooks a half smile at you. It's hard to explain. For years, my butler cut my hair. He was a dear old fellow, name of Hemming. He smuggled me lollipops. He taught me how to click my fingers and flip a coin and shuffle a deck of cards. He was a good man. The sharp, bright smell of the cologne, the scrape of the razor through foam, the delicate business of navigating a bumpy skull. Tybalt shivers happily. Hemming would talk about it like it was an art, and I loved to listen to him ramble on. I begged him for days, and finally he let me give him a short back and sides. From then on I cut his hair and he cut mine, until my father found out. I don't know what happened to Hemming after that. I went to the thin place for a while, and he was gone when I was allowed out again. I was doing commoner's work, you see. Well, man, I think you should follow your dreams, even though this is going to mean that he's no longer available to us, right? Are you sure? Tybalt looks up at you, momentarily full of hope. He scratches his goatee. It would be a disgrace on the balsamic name, on my father's name. So that, yeah, good. That seems like exactly what you ought to do to him. He brightens, then looks suddenly anxious. Oh no, what if I've forgotten it all? Could I practice on you and the rest of the crew? Yeah, absolutely. I do have a lot of hair, sort of. Is fur different from hair? They're the same thing, right? Yeah, practice on me. Just be careful. Tybalt pushes you into a chair and immediately starts retrieving barber implements that had been hidden around the room. He pulls a pair of scissors from under the bed, a razor from inside a hollowed-out book, a bottle of perfume from behind his mirror. Did he think I was gonna, kick him off the ship if I learned that he was a barber? He circles you like a hurricane, scissors a steel blur, razor a flash of silver. You are spritzed, pampered, ruthlessly cared for. And he chats merrily all the while, his morose awkwardness falling effortlessly away. He ducks your head underwater and lathers your scalp so gently it sends you to sleep. By the time you wake up, he is finished. He spins you around and holds up a mirror. Your hair looks outstanding. Better than you've ever seen it. Hey, +1 spirit, and also some sanity. Now for the crew. Tybalt sits your crew down one by one and fusses around them relentlessly, curling and crimping and dyeing and snipping. At first, some are suspicious or dour, but Tybalt chats to them with such earnest good cheer and treats their scalps with such scrupulous care that soon everyone is won over. By the end of the day, all your crew are sporting trendy new hairstyles, and they're singing, joking, falling over each other with laughter. The absurdity of the entire affair has brought them together, and, just for a few moments, pushed back the dark. We gained a great deal of sanity, which we didn't really... we were fine. Alright, that's enough. Tybalt is packing away his scissors and razors, quite exhausted. Tybalt is delirious with joy. He practically skips down the corridors, swinging his scissors hazardously around his head. I am the world's greatest barber, he declares. Nothing can stop me. He grips you by the shoulder, eyes blazing with a feverish light. We need to go to the City of Keys. I'm going to confront my father and tell him what I really want to do with my life. And if he doesn't like it, he can go right to hell. Hell yeah, Tybalt. He grins at you, terrified but elated. Well done. I've never been more attracted to him. I'm gonna flirt with him. When Tybalt realizes what you're implying, his eyes go wide as saucers. Well, my father betrothed me to a baroness's daughter when I was 7. I don't think he would be happy if I was in a relationship with anyone else. Sorry. Ah. He scratches his fluffy goatee, shrugs awkwardly, and wanders off. Can you believe Tybalt just had a chance to get it on with a tiger? A tiger guy. And he just turned me down. I mean, you gotta admire the strength of spirit. I would have a hard time passing up such an opportunity, is all I'm saying. I have a lot of curiosity. There's a lot of questions that you could answer. Also, you have to assume he'd be great. Alright, let's just try to route around this dude. Oh, he's fast. Haha, but I am faster. You gotta wonder, with those legs moving as fast as they move, the wear and tear has to be fairly severe, right? Alright, dozens of colossal eyes stare from the ceiling, and we examine them back. Ah, yes, that's right, we were trying to see if there was a code in the pattern of the blinking. We fail to discover one, and then, yeah, nothing terribly interesting. There are no shops nearby. I guess we just leave. So do we need to... Yeah, we should swing through Gossamer Smile on the way down. Because we're not going to want to swing through on the way back up, right? We're going to want to go through Blue Steel this way. So, mostly south, a little bit east. Again, we're so used to now there just being text everywhere that it's really weird to see a button that only has a single word on it. It's actually a little bit unsettling. Alright, let's start tacking southeast now. Have we seen anything that looked like it would raise the amount of hull that we have? I mean, even if we haven't, that doesn't mean that such a thing doesn't exist necessarily. There's lots of places we haven't been yet. I mean, maybe your HP is to some degree a function of the number of cargo cars you have. We encountered a plain-spoken merchant who would give us some information for our current affairs. Map updated Glitterberg. A place called Glitterberg is marked on their map, below a crude drawing of a butterfly. The other crewman warns you not to go there. It's been struck by a plague. You dutifully copy it over anyway. Also, you guys got anything for sale? We do not need any chillstone. Where is Glitterberg? Like, way south. Okay. That's interesting. I wonder what a plague is like in this place. I kinda, like, we gotta go, right? I need to know, even if it is probably going to be real bad news. I probably should have gone and grabbed that tree. Ah well. Alright, back to Gossamer Smile. Let's have a look here. So, can we get through the Carnival Wastes without trouble? We can indeed. Apparently... Oh, that's right, we need to turn in... We just traded off our current affairs. Well, we do have stories for Lord Aronach. We could tell him something. Let's hit him with a thrilling yarn. A tale to quicken the Lord's pulse. Your tale is met with apocalyptic silence. Then the old Lord nods and the loom clacks into motion. And then, what could we... Angel wine, 100 guineas, or a fetch mirror? Yeah, I don't really need any of this stuff, I don't think. We'll try preaching the word of Anglecrab? Yeah, didn't expect that was going to do anything. Well then, let's try exploring the Carnival Wastes one more time. Do love a good disquieting incident. All the colors have faded, a carousel squeaks on its axis, a web in the spokes of a Ferris wheel, dangling a dozen trussed corpses, the peeling faces of 100 painted clowns. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not new information, or that's not new text. And they don't sell anything here except... Oh, they sell silk and poison. And also... biomechanical spinnerets. I don't know if we want a thing that's, like, low damage, though. Certainly not for 3,000 guineas. I think we're cool to just leave. We're cool to save, because it's been a minute, and then to just leave. To the south. The Entamark awaits you. So... we'll just go hard southwest for a minute here. Then at some point we'll have to adjust our path a little. It's not my fault the frog statue was covered up by the huge notes pane. Ollie Stone, your swabby, finds an ancient grimoire. Boy, this thing does not back up very quickly. Patience Bluff is nearby, says the navigator. Interesting. Penitence Bluff. Well, we'll hit it on the way through. Looks to me like the beetle's not interested in us, which makes me interested in it. Nope, they don't have anything for us. I should probably have taken a moment to note whether we needed to alter our path in any significant way. Also, I'm a little worried about the fuel situation. Like, we still have a lot, but we also have a long way to go. It looks like just continuing to go southwest will do it. Yeah, because if we're going to make it all the way down there and then back up... Where am I at cargo weight-wise? You know what, we'll pick up this lumber and just immediately shovel it into the engine. This is definitely helpful. Okay. There you see flies buzzing above the carcass of a leech as large as a nevermind. Never mind, whatever that note was, it couldn't possibly have been important. I really think this version of the incidental text thing is a lot less good than the Sunless Skies version. Penitence Bluff. A twisted beak of a mountain lurches from the swamp. House Thespian have hollowed it, carved stairs and frescoes, and built their throne in its bowels. Well, news is cheap. The Baronesses Blatter and Chiliad have settled a land dispute. The arena has been temporarily shut down after a giant mantis escaped. A small village outside the bluff has been devastated by a ramble tree. Hey, that sounds like bad news. I don't really feel like I'm up to the task of fighting in the arena. Also, it doesn't feel to me like the sort of thing that would attract our character. Let's preach the word of Anglecrab instead. You open Anglecrab's Sacred Instruction Manual and begin reading the sacred measurements. Grubby Entomark peasants gather before you and mutter among themselves. It's not long before the first stone is thrown. Okay, we'll just pack up and bail out on that one. So there's not really that much for us to do. I guess let's watch a fight? The arena was once where helpless thralls were forced to fight and die, but the current Lady Thespian has put a sharp stop to that. Where did I get the word sharp from? It's absolutely not there. Has put a stop to that. Two gladiators circle each other warily, a half-naked man with a humbling physique, and a scarred woman in chainmail with a narrow sword. Come together and clash briefly, then resume the dance, each now bleeding. A bookie is pushing through the audience, excitedly soliciting bets. He grabs your shoulder and his warty face blocks your view for a moment. Place your bets now. Well... So one guy's half naked and the other person is wearing armor and has a sword. I would like to put a bet on the person who showed up prepared for the fight. Ringing steel, a flash of metal, and the gladiators withdraw once more, but the woman is limping from a cut to her thigh, and as he hobbles back, she slips on the sand. The bare-chested man pounces, fast as a snake. His sword rests gentle against her throat, and she raises her hand in surrender. The victor bows to Lady Thespian. To be fair, in my defense, the descriptive text on the previous screen did not say that he had a sword. Alright, well, next time. Or, more likely, not. Here we could sell arms or dangerous beasts. Arms consignment sells for $160. I guess I should make some notes of prices of things as well, but that seems like a really tedious thing to keep track of. I think we're good. Let's just move on here. You got a place to be. To the city still sinking. And west is a wall of locked doors, which is the way that they're going to keep us from traveling into the infinite. Alright, we've not been to this place before. I can't remember, did Banjo tell us anything about it, or did he just tell us the name, and then it got filled in on the map because we assume that our character knows a hell of a lot more about the world than we do? I think it's the latter. I think we don't actually have any information. Okay. Failed to find a book, which is fine, because we wouldn't have been able to carry the book anyway. I don't know, maybe it would have been worth it to pick up another cargo car. Is this... Oh no, actually I want to go south, in fact. Carapace is nearby. You mark it on the map. Yes, thank you. We're well aware. I really like all these images of the places. I like the feel of the art in this game. I don't really have obviously, I don't really have the art words to describe it. There's something about the aesthetic here, though, that I really appreciate. A circular stone fort town, covered in scaffolding, forever sinking into the sucking mud below. More carapace must constantly be built to outrace the swamp. Here, House Lucanid rule from the Beetle Shell Carmine Palace, although one assumes probably like more than one palace, right? Because they have to keep building new ones as the old ones sink. Let's gather news. Let's look around a little bit before we potentially get ourselves into some trouble. Baroness Kepper's daughter has had a child out of wedlock. Oh, scandalous. Half of Basket Street is sunk under the mud. Townsfolk have been complaining of strange things moving behind their reflection in mirrors. I don't care for that. That's a thing that creeps me right the hell out. Let us... In all Entomark, only the blacksmiths of Carapace can perform the complex mechanical repairs necessary for a kinetipede. Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know. So is Entomark... I wish we had a clearer delineation of the areas, because we know that there's like a country called Entomark, and there's a place called the Principate, but I don't actually know where the lines are. It seems like they could get drawn on your map after you, know a couple of settlements. Let's try preaching the word of Anglecrab. Hammer blows ring from the forges. The people of Carapace seem much too busy to listen, but surely it's worth a try. You preach the sacred instruction manual. Just as you warm to your theme, a centipede-drawn carriage almost runs you down. As you go sprawling in the street, you notice the Kepper coat of arms, and then it is gone. You're quickly back on your feet, but your small audience has already disappeared. Alright, well, we're not having a lot of luck with this. We could try to gain favor with the local lady. Let's maybe do that before we embark on our investigation, in case this might be useful. You will need to earn her trust before you gain entry to the Carmine Palace. She operates several charitable institutions in the city and tours them often. If you volunteer at one, you could hope to bump into her. Lady Lucanid's Asylum for the Parentally Okay, that's a hell of a name for an orphanage. Asylum for the Parentally Deficient is doing genuine good in the slums of Carapace. You spend 3 days there, serving gruel to hollowed-eyed waifs and befriending the staff. Thoroughly decent folk who talk of Lady Lucanid with distinct awe. On the 3rd day, Lady Lucanid visits the orphanage and spends a few hours reading stories to a gaggle of unimpressed children. And we're just gonna make an impression on her. You're either very passionate about this sort of thing, or you can do a very credible imitation of passion. I'd like to believe that this is work that our character actually believes in. Lady Lucanid seems ready to dismiss you, but you talk to her with such warmth and eloquence that she finds herself enraptured. I do have that effect on people. After a long conversation, the lady extends you an invitation to Carmine Palace. She'd love to see you again, she says, for another conversation. Boy, if I had a nickel for every time my sparkling demeanor had entranced a member of royalty, let me tell you something, I would have 15 cents. The lady stands ready to go, the book left unfinished. The orphans drift away expressionless, which, again, in this place might not be a term of poetry. Well, then I guess let's go visit. The Carmine Palace is built in a magnificent rust-red beetle shell. Grand doors swing open for you. Scarlet-liveried guards bow deeply. Violin music swells as doors creak open. Lush red and gold tapestries cascade down every wall, and chubby marble statues pout at you from every corner. A mustachioed thrall in impeccable attire escorts you to the main hall. The main hall is awash with Carapace aristocracy, a forest of powdered wigs and weak chins. The air froths with chatter, but there's a razor-sharp edge to the merry atmosphere. A dozen eyes fixate on you all at once, and then slide away. A passing thrall hands you a glass of wine. Alright, we might be able to navigate the intricacies of court. Perhaps you can gain further favor with the lady, but you should endeavor to keep an eye on your drink. You find Lady Lucanid in the palace gardens, reading a book to a gaggle of children. Her guards impose themselves between you, but she calls you over with a smile. So seduction, definitely an option, highly unlikely. You need a lot of spirit for this, apparently. Let's just flatter her. A lady of the Entomark is used to flatterers, so you must be supremely convincing, or you could just go super over the top. She blushes, but accepts your compliments without protest. Well, I know I am uncommonly clever and beautiful, she says, but what I most want is to be kind. I do so enjoy our conversations, says Lady Lucanid with a simper. The ball is ending now, the nobles drifting away. So, what am I going to do with all of this favor? I have no idea. I guess let's delve into the underbelly? Carapace sinks endlessly into the swamp. A pleasant old lady is quite happy for you to climb down into her cellar, which was once an attic, and clamber out the window into the subterranean streets beyond. That's interesting. I didn't realize, I kind of figured that the swamp was sort of the bottom layer. You know, it's all mud down here. But apparently there is room below it. Let's head deeper. Every footfall sends up dust. The chatter of your crew quietens to a hush. Quietens? I think most people would have just written quiets. The streets down here are identical to the streets above, but cracked and riddled with fungus. Something scurries down a distant alleyway. You step on something long and soft and pink. It trails into the shadows ahead, where it stops at a great furry bulk. Tiny, hateful red eyes turn their attention to you. You've stepped on the tail of a rat as big as a horse. We do not fight the rat. We befriend the rat. You croon soothingly, steadily, as you approach the rat. It snaps its jaws a few times in irritation, then nuzzles at your chest. No, you can't get rid of it. It follows you placidly. What do you mean you lost some sanity? I can't imagine anything more comforting than befriending a huge rat. Let's head deeper. Mold spores clog the air. Hold your breath. A pale face appears in the darkness before you. It glides forward into your torchlight, revealing the colossal spider body behind. Much knowledge I can give you, much secrets, it promises breathily. Fill you up with it. A volunteer is what I need. Its voice is layered with a buzzing puissance. You feel a nauseating urge to obey. I do not wish to persuade my crew to quote-unquote volunteer. I will instead resist its charms with my incredible insight. With a great effort of will, you shake your head. The pale-faced spider gives a complicated shrug. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. There's a lot of limbs involved. And withdraws, still smiling that sickening smile. Well, deeper still, till we get to the bottom. Hey look, it's another rat. I calm the animal down. Wow, we're really good at taking on giant rats. And deeper still. You pull up a sewer grate, revealing another street beneath. You've found a route to the next layer. You have fully explored the first layer of the underbelly, so it seems like this kind of delve is going to be a feature of the game. This occurs in multiple places. You know what? We'll just keep heading deeper. I see no reason to stop. It still smells of death down here. Mummified corpses litter the dust-choked streets. Disaster! Your footsteps have shaken something ancient and vital, and the ceiling above is flourishing cracks. Pebbles fall like hail. Are we more of a run-for-it kind of person, or a find a place to shelter kind of person? I think our character's not really so much about, like, panicked action. This fits our contemplative nature a little bit better. You have only seconds to search, but there, a sturdy-looking church. You and your crew pile desperately inside, very dramatically appropriate for our character. Shaking, dust fall, a great deal of noise, and it seems to last for hours. When you emerge, the floor is carpeted in rubble, and we head deeper. And then, it's rats again. This rat's a little bit more ornery, so we might fail to calm it down. Nope, I never fail. Just call me the Pied Piper, except I'm not. No, don't call me the Pied Piper. That story ends very poorly for the rats. We're friendly. We're like a friendly Pied Piper. Alright, we're gonna try to resist again. It's getting a little more difficult. The pale-faced spider surges forward and squirms a long proboscis into your ear. Your mind opens until weeping and raw, and explodes with unutterable secrets, unacknowledged truths, unwanted revelations. It lasts for only a glorious half-second, followed by blinding pain, a headache like no other, a sickening crack as your skull buckles. Then, a gunshot. Tybalt lowers the rifle, standing over the spider thing's shuddering corpse. Your head still hurts. Only fragments of knowledge remain, like the dying embers of a fire. So we lost a great deal of sanity, but we did gain a hideous revelation, and we actually need a couple of those for various quests, so maybe that was an okay outcome. Our sanity's down below half, but we are going to continue deeper. Well, that was sudden. A rubble-strewn abyss splits the street in half. It has collapsed under its own weight. You can climb down the shifting rubble slopes to the third layer beneath. As you clamber down, the rubble shifts beneath your feet and reveals a skeletal hand. So, thrilling yarn, old bones. We should probably stop now, but we can get to the third layer immediately. Let's just head back. I'm in terrible shape. I think it would be wise to rest and recover before we attempt the Mr. Winter thing. We may need to do this a couple of times. Okay, that helps. So apparently that music is just the You're Going Mad music. I'm willing to spend a fair amount of money undoing what we have done here. And actually, we could just delve again, right? Am I allowed to go back in right now? No, it looks like we'd have to wait and come back later. Or we just have to save the game here, and I'm sure when I reload, we'll be allowed to try it again. Alright, let's investigate Mr. Winter's whereabouts. How many big beardy fellows do you think I remember from 40 years ago? Asks the elderly carapace shoeshiner, hurrying away. Go waste someone else's time. This is going about as well as expected, admits Banjo, approaching you. We have to put ourselves in Mr. Winter's head. Where would he go? Well, what does his file say? Banjo flips through the Golem Guard's papers. He boasted he was going to Carapace, and then he hopped on a kinetipede heading down here from the mill. That's all we have to go on. Well, it does seem like a test of insight is well suited to our skills, right? Put yourself in Mr. Winter's shoes. If Mr. Winter wasn't a stupid man, why would he boast in the mill about where he was going? And if he did come here, it would only have been briefly. But he did board a kinetipede headed this way. And there must be some other place nearby, another room, where Mr. Winter genuinely intended to keep his head down. Perhaps not even a city, but somewhere quieter. A village. Okay, apparently that's gonna advance our... I don't know what I meant by that, but hopefully our character does. Well, I think with that, we could probably just head out of here. Oops, your ambition should be applauded, but you are carrying too much cargo. Oh, fair point. Old Bone Forge, so... Ooh, beetle shell armor. Increases hull strength by 150. I can't... Is that a 6,500? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, we took on a ton of weight here, actually. You know what? I don't exactly know what it is we want to do. Dangerous beasts that are alive sell quite well, don't they? Okay, you know what? This is probably an okay place to just call it for the moment. I'm going to stop here, and thank you all so much for watching, as always. When you come back next time tomorrow, I will have figured out exactly what it is that we intend to abandon. I'm going to try not to leave behind our crew of wonderful, beautiful rat horses. I mean, those have got to be useful out there in the dark, right? So come back next time tomorrow for a plan and maybe a conclusion to one or two crew stories. And we'll see you then.